everybody. This is the amazing Oni. She is the founder of Tabbeau Place.
Yeah.
She has this incredible fragrance line.
Oh,
And when I tell you, and I'm not just saying that because I'm up here just trying to boost you up and everything, but I should have said this before. Y'all need to go to tabooplace.com. That's TABBEAU, and put something in the cart
yeah.
because her stuff smells just that good.
Thank
It smells really,
you.
really good.
Thank
Um,
you, Lisa.
she
Thank you.
I want to, we chatted for a little bit a couple days ago, but
Mm-hmm.
I want you to introduce yourself and I want you to share a little bit about your story and the story behind Tabbeau Place.
Okay. Where do we start from? Hey everyone. Is it morning or afternoon wherever you are?
It's
Hi everyone.
afternoon. It's morning somewhere in the world
Right,
though.
right. Hi everyone. My name is Onyi Ifeguni. I'm the founder and the creator of Tableau Place
Mhm.
Fragrances. I am a Nigerian born, raised, and moved over to the United States to join my husband. And as you all know, Tableau Place is a fragrance made out of my love for aromatherapy, natural ingredients. What else is there to know about me? I am a biochemist, an industrial
I
chemist,
see you
and
glossing over that because she
I
told me that earlier. She said, I'm a biochemist. I was like, say
yeah,
what?
so I have a large background in chemistry.
Mhm.
What else do you need to know about me? I'm the second child of a family of three. My both
Mhm.
parents are late, so I have just my sister and my little brother. And what else is there to know? I'm just trying to put
Well,
it
what
all.
I want to know is, so Taboo is a very unique name.
Ooh,
Tell
that
us
is
what is the meaning behind that name.
ha. That is okay. So first off, Tabio is an acronym of True Glow and Beauty, and it came because first of all, I make mostly body butters for myself. I like to make things that I use on my body,
Hmm.
and I was gonna start out as a skincare brand until I switched it up to fragrances because I was threatened and harassed by family, friends, and you're like, girl, put this thing in a bottle. Stop gifting us.
Hmm.
Just put it in a bottle.
Right.
And yeah, so I guess that's where Taboo Place came from. That's where the name came from. I tried to get it registered, and I did see some names in Illinois that was like taboo, but just with a single B and all of that. So I had to add an extra B because it was coming from beauty. And that's how the name came along.
Hmm.
Nothing special to it, but yeah, that's how I came up with the name taboo. And I just wanted, because I know it's going to be a place for, taking care of yourselves, making yourself feel confident enough. And I
Hmm.
just added the word place to it. And yeah, that's how the name came
So
about.
when I was looking through the story and about the brand and reading about it, the brand emphasizes fragrance beyond the bottle. Can
Right.
you explain, like, what does that mean, and then how does it influence your creations?
Ooh, okay. So fragrance beyond bottle. That is because creating fragrances is not just about putting for me though, it's not just about putting the notes together and
Hmm.
blending them and all of that. I wanted to give people an experience. So if you look at our fragrances, my cashment in it is basically to take a note and give you the DNA of the note, but kind of amplify that DNA of that note.
Hmm.
So I'll give you an instance for maybe cherry saffron. If I'm There are so many notes that
Which is
makes
what I
up a
have.
fragrance.
Hmm.
So if I'm saying there's a cherry there, I want you to feel the cherry really good.
Hmm.
I want you. So when our tagline is we serve experiences, not just perfume. So we want to take you on a journey, different journeys of how cherry can come about. Maybe journeys that you've never experienced before, but we just like to take people on a journey and show you some different experiences you've never experienced. If
Hmm.
that makes sense.
And that's
Yeah.
the truth. I think, when I started to spray some of this and I put it on my skin, it was an experience, and I'm not just lying. It was. I mean, because they almost felt like it was calming.
Mm,
The scent wasn't
yeah.
overpowering, but it was very calming for me. And it was like, it kind of took me back a little bit. So that's true. When she says that it is an experience, her sense, that is very, very
Hey,
true. Um
Kipsy, I see my people. Kipsy, that's at the tone, right? Yeah, at the tone. That's her. That's my girl. Hey, girl.
No, it's Black owned fragrance week.
Right.
And there have been many, many creatives and artists that have told their story this week. What has been the most rewarding part for you participating in Black owned fragrance week this year?
Huh. Where do I start from? So first of all, I did participate last year, and honestly, I didn't know anything about it last year until I was reached out to, and I'm like, oh, this is a thing. Nice. I'd like to be part of it because, listen, the story of an immigrant is a different story every time. So most times
Right,
you're
right.
most times you deal with the culture shock
Mm-hmm.
because you're leaving most of your families
Mm-hmm.
behind, and so you feel alone at some point. So I wanted the community. I embraced the community. So I held on to the community. So like I held on to it really tightly. And I can tell you there's been I love the visibility that it has given. I
Yeah.
love the encouragement. I love the enthusiasm that it comes with. I love the love. I just love how the community kind of shows love and helps to lift you up. I mean, like I said to you, I'm someone who really, really overthinks things a lot. So before I eventually started, I was threatened, I was harassed by friends, I was practically pushed. Like, girl, you have this thing, just put it in a bottle, let's get
Right.
this thing rolling. Yeah. So I would say that the most of one of the most rewarding thing for me has been the enthusiasm and the support, having to see people who like what you're creating, who really believe in your craft, who believes in your artistry. It's mind-blowing and sometimes even overwhelming, but I really, really do enjoy all of those and I appreciate it
Mm-hmm.
completely.
How do you think, how has this week's celebration impacted your brand and its goals?
Oh, it has strengthened our community. I must say that I have seen. First off, I've been open to seeing and meeting different brands who are
Mm.
Black owned, which is
Mm-hmm.
beautiful to see. I love that people are beginning to come together and decide to make this our own. I love to see that people are really using their voices well, if I
Yeah.
can say so. The exposure and the engagement from this week has just expanded our reach and is introducing our fragrances to a wider audience, and I'm here for it. I really, really enjoy it and I love it. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. I would concur on that. The Black owned fragrance week community is the bomb. I mean,
Oh,
they show up and they show out, don't they? I mean, they support. And it is, to me, it's more of a movement than just I follow them and they cute. It's nothing even like
right.
that. They really, really support. And kudos to Glenn
Mm,
for even thinking about this and
yeah.
taking us on this journey and allowing people to come together and celebrate these creatives in this space.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree totally with you. Glenn has really done a good job with coming up with this cause. I'd like to call it a cause because listen, I did listen in, I did do a replay of I think it's the introduction or the introductory ceremony for this event.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I did hear Glenn mention something about people thinking that it's you're doing it for him. This is just me trying to, say something here. This is not, when someone starts something, um it's good to, I mean, everyone is entitled to their opinion, but here is how my mannerism. It's good if someone starts up a cause. I think it's, the person is really not doing it for themselves. The person
Mm-hmm.
is actually doing it for other people. It's, you're holding a door for other people to walk through.
100%.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I'll tell you this, yeah. What Glenn is doing is like holding a door for the other generations who are coming to
Mm-hmm.
walk through. Because, Lisa, I can tell you that both of us can have access to a door,
Mm-hmm.
and you might have the ability to come out with $10,000, for instance, from that door. And
Mm-hmm.
I could go into that door and I have the ability to come out with $300 million from that door. What does that tell you?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a door for other people to benefit
Right.
from, whether you like it or not. And the sooner people start seeing it that way, the better.
Yeah.
It helps amplify the growth. It makes everyone feel seen. It makes everyone benefit from this lovely thing. So yeah, full support. I'm really thankful for the opportunity. I'm thankful that, because it's one thing to desire to want to do something, and it's another thing to execute. And I really
Mm-hmm.
applaud Glenn for even starting it up and even seeing it through, following it through to execute it. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, what he did and the causes that he's doing for blacks, minorities, brown people, brown skin, melanated in this space. Um, what do you feel like are some of the challenges that we still face or we are facing when it comes to this niche of fragrance?
Hmm. I don't know. I probably would say my own challenge is being seen enough and being appreciated for the art and the craft that goes into all of
Mm-hmm.
this. Aside, everyone has the challenge of the money, 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 money. Yeah, everybody does have
Yeah.
that challenge. But kicking that aside, I think the challenge is having been appreciated, because listen, the fragrance industry has been known for the
Yeah.
longest time. It's
Yeah.
mostly it's from Paris. I mean, from the ancient time, it's, everyone knows it's a Paris thing. But having to be a black person, creating fragrances, sometimes you could be underhyped, you could be underestimated,
Mm-hmm.
because it, they don't just see it like your thing. It's not your field. It's not where you should. It's not your expertise. You
Yeah.
shouldn't be here. Stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But those are some of the challenges. Some people think that why should I purchase this brand when there is the bigger brands up there? I mean, I've never heard of them and all of that. So it all boils down to visibility. It all boils down to visibility. It all boils down to being seen, in my own perspective. And I don't let it bother me that much. I just keep doing what I do and just keep adding value, and we believe that one day this thing is gonna skyrocket. Yeah, but
Mm-hmm.
that's majorly, I would say, that's the challenge that I face currently.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about others, but yeah.
And you're super
uh,
busy. Um, now, when people buy fragrances, it's a personal thing. It's they gravitate towards whether it's a floral, a musk, a cedar, a bergamot. They gravitate towards what they like. What makes fragrance so personal for you, and how do you create scents that evoke emotion and tell stories?
I love that question. So, yeah, again, I would always use myself.
Mm-hmm.
I love every little bit of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Today, I might be in love with floral scents. Tomorrow, I just might be in love with woody scents
Mm-hmm.
and spicy. What have you not? But for me, in my creating process, like I get inspired by plants mostly
Oh,
because
okay.
I'm a plant lover.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Let me piggyback a little bit, like how this started for me. When I was younger, my mom she had this little garden and she would blindfold me and make me smell each herbs
Mm-hmm.
to be able to tell her what it is. So from thyme to curry to rosemary and all of that, I was probably like 10, 11 then. I didn't even know how to cook then though. So, but I could smell those things and it takes me on a journey, makes me realize the difference between each herb. So when creating these fragrances, I just want people to experience what each raw material gives off.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to also think about, like, we're releasing a new fragrance soon, and the star of that fragrance is kola nut. I'm telling a story. I'm telling a story of heritage. I'm
Mm-hmm.
telling a story of tradition. So it just depends on what story I want to tell at a time. If I pick up this black whatever lead now and I want to tell a story about this lead, I just will start doing my extraction processes
Mm-hmm.
and come up with what would seem to tell a story about. I don't know if I'm making sense with what
No,
I'm saying,
no, it
but
makes perfect
yeah,
sense.
it's just to give people to help people,
Mm-hmm.
enjoy whatever that can come out of this instead of seeing it just as a lead.
Yeah.
It can become a savior of a bottle. It can become a savior of whatever thing that you're trying to protect by using it as a lead and just not seeing it as just a lead, but seeing it, have a better view, a different, see it from different sides, if that makes
Yeah,
sense.
for sure.
Yeah. So those are
Absolutely.
the stories that I like to tell when I'm trying to create.
What are some of your signature notes in your fragrances?
Hmm. Um. So these days, I love working. There are some fragrances that I work with mostly the base notes and very little of the top notes. My favorite note has to be the sandalwood. Um,
Oh, I love
I
sandalwood. That smells
love
so
it.
good.
It's very soothing for me
Mm-hmm.
though, and
Mm-hmm.
very comforting. So it's one of my favorite notes, and I tend to blend a lot with a spicy note. So you could see peppercorn here, you could see ginger here, but that's just because I feel like, because I'm a Nigerian, you can't do without
Mm-hmm.
spice. you can do you, you can do without heat when it comes to our food. So I try to, give you something that would give you like a little kick
Yeah.
in every fragrance. So yeah, I like to, anything that would give it a kick. If I'm trying to create a citrusy note, best believe that I would look for something that would give that citrusy note a kick. So
Mm-hmm.
a little kick in
Mm-hmm.
everything is what I love to do.
Now, they say, self-care is a big thing, me
Mm.
time, whatever, doing some time for yourself or having time to yourself. How do you feel like fragrances and self-care are connected?
Nice. Very, very connected. It helps you. It helps you. What's the word I'm looking for? It helps you rejuvenate. It helps you relax.
I
It
agree.
helps. Yeah. So for people who engage in yoga, it helps you. It's very calming.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Those are the things that fragrances can do for people. It helps you just be at peace after a very long, stressful
Mm-hmm.
day.
Yeah.
And you just maybe light a candle and spray the room with some, it's just very
Mm-hmm.
comforting. And that's why I like to infuse some aromatherapy ingredients in our fragrances, so you can also get the benefits of, you know, those plants and those extractions that we do to create those notes.
Yeah. I agree. Like I said, I got mixed feelings, and they all
Mm.
smell uniquely different. And I mean, they just, when I put them on, it just, I just feel like some of them make me feel refreshed. Some of them make me feel very relaxed. Some of them make me feel like, sentimental or what have you. But it's very true. I think it does tap into, taking care of yourself, and it takes you to a place, and it makes you feel good. It's a feel
Yeah,
good thing.
I'll tell you something about what fragrances does. So, if you've visited like a psychiatric ward before,
Hmm.
people who probably have problems with their mental abilities and all of that,
Hmm.
is there's a study that says that scent helps them stay calm.
Oh,
Mhm.
really?
There's a study that says it helps. So when you go to hospitals, there are some kind of scents that you really will get. Those things are intentional. You
Mm.
could get this eucalyptus kind of scent in some kind of wards that you walk into. Those things are just not there because they want to make the place look aesthetically beautiful. They are very helpful for the mind.
Mm.
You just might not know, but you can see someone, so you can hear someone say, oh, this scent reminds me of my dad, or it reminds me of my grandma.
Hmm.
Those are the things, those things are building up in the mind. They are building up in the mind. They are taking you on a journey. They are making you remember something. Those are
Mm.
the things that scent does. I have a fragrance that my dad would always wear back in the days. Anytime I smell anything that looks or smells like it that is close to it, I just remember my father.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
yeah.
those are the things so that tells you that your mind is working. Your
Mm.
intellect is intact. You're
Hmm.
just not living life, but when those things are being imbibed in your mind, it just makes you know that, okay, I am actually existing, I'm living, I'm actually in this world. So those are the things that helps the mind.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So those are some of the things fragrances does. I know self-care has been a thing when, and I would also listen, yeah. I'll tell you one story really quickly, Lisa. So I still have my 9 to 5 job, yeah.
Yeah, which I
But
can't believe. I can't
yes,
believe you still have your 9 to 5 job,
I
but
still
okay.
do. I still do, and I work in an R&D lab, yeah. And there's sometimes I have to go in on a weekend because I probably have a culture. For people who know what is a technical term, but culturing is like when you're trying to put some specimen together and try to create something. So there are some cultures that I need to attend to maybe in the weekend, and my supervisor is like, hey, you need to come in, something is happening. So I do those things back and forth, back and forth. And one day I was burnt out. I didn't know how much I needed a massage in my
Hmm.
life. I was burnt out that I couldn't lift my right hand completely. Like I couldn't lift it up like this. I
Right.
was burnt out, and a massage fixed it. I never so you wouldn't know how much your body needs some things. And after I had that massage, the therapist said, "Listen, you need to always come in. You need to have your body always checked." So self-care, I'd say, is a big deal. Everyone
Hmm.
should invest in it. However way you think it would work better for you, do. Use
Yeah.
fragrances as well.
Yeah. So since starting your brand and as you've seen it grow, what have been some of the challenges you faced?
Um, so as I've seen it grow, um, let me back up a little bit from when I started. I started in my kitchen to my basement to my
Uh-huh.
first studio and now to a warehouse.
Oh, okay. You're in a warehouse now. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
So the way the challenges, you see how I listed it from my kitchen, basement, studio,
Yeah.
warehouse.
Right.
Each step of the way has had its challenge. When I was in my kitchen, the challenge was space. I couldn't create as much as I wanted to create.
Mm-hmm.
When I moved over to my basement, the challenge I was facing was, I needed hands to help me because my orders were becoming overwhelming
Mm-hmm.
and I couldn't just pack it myself because I didn't want my customers to breathe down my neck and cry, "Where the hell is my package?" So that was one challenge then. And
Mm-hmm.
then I moved over to the warehouse, to the studio, and it was small. It was small in the sense that, I'm shipping things from different places. I need space so that I'm able to visually see the things properly.
Mm-hmm.
And all these things cost money. We've been self-funded for the longest, even up until now. We've been
Oh
self-funded.
wow, you're
Yeah,
self-funded, so no
yeah,
loans, no
no,
nothing,
no
just
loans,
bootstrapped it all.
no loans. Just whatever we get in, we put it back in. Whatever we get, we put it back in. That's how
Mm-hmm.
we've been running.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and at some point you'd hire people and they probably are not aligning properly with the values that you envisioned for the
Mm-hmm.
brand, so you just keep it moving. Now we have a warehouse where we have the space that's the warehouse space that we can afford,
Mm-hmm.
and we have all the space that we need. And we just recently even just hired one full-time worker now.
Mm-hmm.
Before we used to hire a lot of interns, but now we have like a full staff, like that's what they
Yeah.
do. Okay, but all of that being said, aside these challenges, I'm happy to go through them because again, I'm not one who believes in magic. Things don't happen magically. I
Yeah.
like to go through the process. I like to see that we are growing. If I'm not seeing growth, I probably would have shut down because I must see growth as tiny as the growth can be. I must be able to see growth. And that's the only thing that makes you know, okay, there's something I'm doing right here.
Mm-hmm.
There's something people want. I'm actually providing value. I'm giving people something that they want.
Yeah.
And that's it.
What would you say to somebody that hears your story and they want to become engulfed and becoming this part of this community and they want to get into the fragrance space? What would be some words of advice or encouragement that you would give them?
Um, Lisa, I hate to advise people. I hate advising people because they're not gonna take it anyways. They're not gonna take it. But to be honest with you, if anyone is interested in, are you asking if anyone is interested in starting up the fragrance business?
Yeah,
Correct? Is that it?
correct.
Okay, so first off, I know that sometimes it might look like a trend.
Mm-hmm.
You'd see people wanting to take everything they want to take from a particular industry just because it's the trend
Right.
at the moment, and it's the and sometimes it might look calculative and all of that, but what I've the mannerism I would prefer for people is make sure you're adding value, make sure you're creating structure and a system
Mm-hmm.
that people coming behind you can benefit from,
Mm-hmm.
because that's the only way the industry can survive.
Yeah.
So I mean, everybody sees Hollywood as what it is today, what is like today. So it
Mm-hmm.
started somewhere.
Yeah.
It started by someone holding the door and allowing other people to walk through it, to pass
Yeah.
through it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so if somebody started it, somebody held onto that door, held it open for others to walk through, for
Mm-hmm.
others to pass through. So if you want to start, just start. Don't even overthink it like I did. I was doing a lot of overthinking. Again, I was harassed and I was harassed and I was really harassed a lot to start it off already. But
Yeah.
don't ever overthink it. Just start and be willing to learn as you grow.
Yeah.
That's
For
just
sure.
that's the advice I would
Hmm.
give. Sometimes it might be one could be scared about the capital intensive situation, how much and all of that.
Yeah.
Start with what you have.
Exactly. Right. 100%. You got to work. You got to start somewhere.
Start with what you have.
Hmm.
I don't know if I've shared this story before, but I started with buying oils from Amazon. I was learning how to blend these things myself,
Hmm.
and I began to gift it to my neighbors. And every Thanksgiving I was invited for, I always would show up with something. And that's how my neighbors began to know that, oh, first off, yeah, my home, I cook a lot of Nigerian dishes. And
Hmm.
anyone who knows Nigerian dishes, it has a very potent smell.
Yes.
And here in America, you hardly, at least here in Chicago, you hardly let your windows open. Okay, so the windows are always shut, but I need those scents to get out of the door,
Hmm.
to leave. So I would always blend something just to make sure that the house is smelling great and all
Yeah.
of that.
Hmm.
And so if I had people visit me, they're like, oh, the house smells really great. And so I would go to, when they invite me over, I go with my blended scent and I gift it to them.
Yeah.
I was doing that every time I would visit my friends, and they kept pushing me and harassing me. You need to start up. You need to start putting this thing in a bottle.
Hmm.
And word of mouth. That's how the word of mouth, went around. From there, I had a client who had a dental space. She's a doctor, and today she's a returning customer. I always create and formulate scents for her dental space. Like that, I have another friend who has a home where they take care of seniors,
Hmm.
and that's how today we create scents for them for that facility. So again, I'll say just start
Yeah.
and but most especially, even if you're starting, make sure that you also don't let yourself become a mediocre whenever you're starting, or make sure you're creating and adding value.
Yeah.
Push yourself, make sure you're above the limit.
Yeah.
Invest in yourself, study, go if you need to get a formal education,
Hmm.
go, by all means, go ahead and get that, but make sure you are investing in yourself, you're studying as much as you can study, just to make
Yeah.
it look better than the average that you see out there.
Yeah.
That's it.
100%. I agree totally. You have to invest in yourself and you got to start somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
As entrepreneurs, we wear a lot of hats, and I know you wear many hats over there. what, what, during your journey, what's the one thing that you felt like you learned about yourself?
Ha. So something I learned about myself is I have a mantra that impossible is nothing.
Mm.
If you tell me this thing is impossible, that's when my motivation kicks in.
Mhm.
I'm not stopping. If you tell me I cannot create this lead, you just motivated me, because I'm gonna keep
Yeah.
fighting until I'm able to.
Yeah.
So I think I learned that I was persistent. I don't care what any other person is saying. I don't care if someone is saying, who's gonna buy this? Who's gonna purchase? Who's gonna purchase? I don't care. I don't see you. I don't see you. I'm just gonna keep pushing, keep
Mhm.
pushing.
Yeah.
So I think you have to be resilient. You have to be hardworking, because I know some people say work smart and work little. It's not my mantra. I don't believe in that, by the way.
Yeah.
You got to put in the work. Make sure you're down, put it in the work,
Yeah.
because that's the only thing that will differentiate you from
Yeah.
others.
Yeah. So what's next? I mean, you've got all these fabulous scents. You said you was dropping a new
Oh
scent or dropping
yeah.
something new. Can you give us a preview? Can
Oh
can you
yeah.
tell us a little bit what's next for you and Taboo Place?
Um, last year we dropped 2 cents. Last year I had 8 cents on the pipeline to drop.
Okay.
But at some point I lost my sense of smelling.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't smell nothing for about a month, and that scared the hell out of me. I was
Oh
very
wow.
scared. It wasn't COVID, I just lost it. I couldn't smell nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So and then I realized I probably had pushed myself too much. So
Mm-hmm.
I decided to slow things down a little bit. And so we have like about 3 to 4 scents coming out this year. The first one is already, it will be out on the 10th, and it's Stamen Blues.
Oh, oh, okay.
So it's
Okay.
the star of the scent is the cola nut. Cola nut is a cultural fruit in Nigeria where I come from.
Mm-hmm.
So when you go to a family, to maybe you're a groom or you're going to pick a bride, you'll be presented with kola nut, and it would show you that, oh, they've accepted me.
Yeah.
So it's a symbol of acceptance and hospitality, sort of, and it's just a way of me, trying to bring people together.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the story behind it. And plus, it's like a tribute to my father's love for kola nut. My dad couldn't do without kola nuts back then. He would always chew the heck out of that thing, and it's and it's so bitter. I'm like, what? Why do you like this thing so much?
Mm-hmm.
Until I started. I mean, I was still in school. I realized how it regulates the high blood pressure,
Mm-hmm.
and it's very medicinal. Whoosh, I'm like, okay. It's also very hard to extract. It's a very hard and a tough plant of fruit to actually extract. But
Mm-hmm.
knowing who I am, impossible is nothing.
Right.
I went to work and we make sure we got the essence of the nut in that scent. It's I'm so happy about that scent. I can't wait for it to drop. Um, when we initially announced it, something happened to us when we announced it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So let me take it back to last year when we announced pistachio eclair.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, when we announced matcha rush before we launched it, we did a pre. It was our first time doing a pre-order.
Mm-hmm.
It was overwhelming. So let me put a number to it. Yeah. So if we prepared for, say, 1,000 orders
Yeah.
for pre-order, we got like 2,500 orders.
Wow.
Yes, it was that crazy. And so I learned from it, and then I decided that when we're going to launch pistachio eclair, instead of the surprise we
Mm-hmm.
got for matcha, let's create as much as that can take 2,500 pre-orders.
Yeah.
But when pistachio eclair came, we were getting like 3,000 orders.
Oh my
So it was
goodness.
like unbeatable. I'm like, what? Wait, what is going on here?
Mm-hmm.
And the same thing happened again to us in Stamen Blues. We did announce the
Yeah.
pre-orders.
Yeah.
We planned because you see the trajectory. So we used our
Yeah.
experience. Like, you know what? Since we got 3,500 orders for pistachio eclair, you know what? Let's just create like 4,000 for pre-order for Stamen Blues. And guess what?
Mm-hmm.
We went above that too. So hence why we had to push our launch date.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's because again, Tabio we create in small batches. Yeah, we're not like in the commercial yet.
Yes.
So we make our fragrances fresh in small
Mhm.
batches. So it's So I'm just taking note of all this trajectory and hoping that we're not going to delay
Mm-hmm.
again. But that's just what we have experienced
Mm-hmm.
in the few times we've decided to do a launch. And I'm like, Jesus, what is going on? It's exciting. It's a good problem, yeah, but it can be overwhelming
Right.
as well. You're like,
Hey, I get that. Now,
yeah.
out of all of your scents, Valentine's Day is coming up, y'all. Out of all of your scents, for the ladies, what is the best scent that someone can go right now and go to tabooplace.com and put in a cart and buy for Valentine's Day?
Listen, if you haven't gotten pistachio eclair, you're sitting on a very long thing. Like
What?
you're living
Okay.
under you're living under the rock. You're living under the rock. Just go grab pistachio eclair.
Mm-hmm.
It's that scent is uh it has a lot of raisins in it. It's a very beautiful scent. It's a
Mm-hmm.
scent that if you want to feel unstoppable,
Mm.
that's
It's
the
like that?
yeah, that's what that scent gives me. Is unstoppable. You're just unstoppable.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only word I can use to express
See, now
that.
I need to go and get some. I need to go get some of that. Do you have any scents for men as well?
So all our scents are unisex.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
all of
men or women could wear your
anyone
scent.
can wear our scent. So I make sure. So one thing I make sure I do is I invest a lot more in our raw ingredients.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not premium, I'm not getting it because so it's in the power of the ingredients and in the power of the blending. I
Mm-hmm.
make sure that every scent that we create, both sex can use them. So all our scents are gender neutral. You don't have to be able, although there are some that the men really like more, like the mixed
Mm-hmm.
feelings. They like mixed feelings a lot and they like matcha. Because I was looking at our demographics the other day and I realized that the men are liking this matcha rush a lot more. I'm like, what is going on
Yeah.
here? Yeah,
Yeah.
so it just depends on what I'd always advise. When we have that discovery set, I'd
Mm-hmm.
always advise start with the discovery sets.
Yeah.
We have different
Or buy these
discovery
little. I
sets.
bought some of
Yeah,
these. I bought like 3 or 4 of
yeah.
these, and now I want to go buy the big bottles because now I'm just in love with these. We've got some questions. Someone
Ooh.
wants to know, do you ship to the UK?
Hey, yeah, we do ship to the UK. We ship to the UK. We just don't ship to other European countries just yet because, but very soon though, we're working behind the scenes to make that happen. We just don't want a situation where the customs is holding down the package and all of that. So we are working to see how we can make that easy and accessible. But yes, we do ship to the UK. But other European countries like Germany, Italy,
Mm-hmm.
Sweden, all those places, I see people send us those emails, and I see that people are trying. But yeah, we're working on it, and I believe by the end of the year, hopefully, if everything goes as planned, we should be able to ship to all those other European countries. But currently, we ship to the UK, we ship to Canada.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so Mr. X Miss underscore Hamilton 5, that was your question. So I want you to go to that website and put something in a cart and buy nothing buy something because now she just said she ships to the UK. Um, someone else wanted to know, do you have travel sizes? And I believe you do.
Yes. So the thank you. That question is very important. Let me just say that one of the reasons why I started this was because working as a teenager, I worked so hard to be able to afford myself a luxury fragrance. And
Mm-hmm.
my favorite back then was I don't know if you know this brand called Elizabeth Arden
Yeah,
Red
I
Door.
remember Elizabeth Arden.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Red Door was like my favorite. It
Yeah.
was my all-time goals. I couldn't do without it when I
Mm-hmm.
was way younger. But I really but I as I was growing up, I began to wanted to experience all the luxury the top guys there. But I noticed that some of them, when I wear them, they don't last as much as I want them to last on my
Right.
skin. The longevity is not really there. So those were part of the things that I expected that if I was shopping for a scent that would cost me about $400, I expect that if I hugged someone, my scent should transfer to your skin. or if I did lie down on a bed sheet, I expect that I leave my trails on that sheet.
Yeah.
So when I wasn't getting that, I'm like, okay, that I think those are part of the things that also motivated me.
Yeah.
Let's get this thing going. Let's just start this thing. And I also wanted it to be accessible to everyone.
Yeah.
I also wanted luxury. I believe luxury should be accessible. Everyone should be able to experience one form of luxury or the other in their life. And so, hence why I made sure that every scent of ours would have a travel size. If you cannot afford the 50 ml bottle or the 100 ml bottle, you should be able to afford at least the travel size bottle, the 10 ml bottles. So yeah, every scent we have has a 10 ml bottle, a travel size.
Okay. That's so again, go to the website, put something in your cart, and buy something today. Now, we're
Yeah.
almost at time, but I want to get your thoughts on and give a message to the Black owned Fragrance Week community. As we transition from an event to a movement, what would be your message to everyone?
So, like I said before, my message will still be make sure you're leaving the door
Mm-hmm.
for people to pass through.
Mm.
Make sure, however you want to interpret that, but make sure you're walking through that door, you're holding that door open for the younger generations to be able to walk through it,
Mm-hmm.
benefit from it. Make sure that the kind of value that you are adding is the kind of value that the other generation will be able to benefit from. I know there are people who, you've I've seen people who can just sit down and just say, oh, this da 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 da, she did that, he did that, and you ask, what exactly has this person done to you?
Mm.
Just sit down, carefully think. Just tell me what. They're not able to figure it out.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, they'll say, you know what? It's a little bit of admiration and a blend of jealousy. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be cheeky here. I'm trying to be I'm not trying to be any of that, but that's what it ends up to. That's the bottom
Yeah.
line of it.
Yeah.
You're hating on someone because you admire what they do,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a hint of jealousy here, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But wake yourself up, tap yourself at some point and say,
Mm-hmm.
this is not, this mannerism is silly. It makes no sense.
Right.
So my advice is just like this Black owned fragrance wheel. I don't want it to end as just a movement. Yeah, but I want it to be something that has come to stay.
Yes.
And this is not to say that the other race is not important, and I don't want it to be that, but because you're a pike, I mean, you can't change your color, okay?
Right.
If you take it up with God, if you want to just take it up with God. But then again, just make sure that you're adding value.
Mm-hmm. 100%.
That's
100%.
my take. Make sure that your value is a value that would, end up becoming a permanent permanent shift. I'm trying to figure out the
Mhm.
words I want to use, but I'm just gonna hold myself back from using some words, right?
No, you gave some that value is key. Give added value. But
That's it.
before we get cut off from Instagram,
Instagram.
I want people to get connected with you. How can people stay connected with you? Tell us your social media handles, your website. How we can join your
Okay,
community?
we're Tabbeau Place on Instagram and on TikTok. We're
Hmm.
growing there. We're Tabbeau Place One. There's a one at the end of it.
Hmm.
We just recently joined Lemonade when we heard that TikTok was about to go off on us.
Oh, you ran.
Yeah, I have to figure out really what. But if you follow us on this too, on Facebook, we're also Tabbeau Place.
Hmm.
And those are the three places where I think and I know we're quite active on.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Oni, thank you so much. Everyone, thank you
Thank you
for joining
guys. Thank you guys.
Black Owned Fragrance Week. There are more interviews that are going to be this week and today. Be sure that you are following at Black Owned Fragrance Week so you can catch the replay. If you came in late, it's going to be on Side Hustle _ Saturday as well. Everybody, thank you for joining us
Thank you guys.
today.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Oni. You've been
Thank you. Thank
amazing.
you, Lisa.
Thank you
Bye
so
everyone.
much. Everyone, have a
Thank
great
you.
Friday. Talk to
Salud.
you
Thank you
soon.
guys.
Bye
Bye.
bye.